Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Obsidian. What did I call this? Uh-oh, I forgot what I called this. Obsidian from the ground up, Obsidian, hold on, I'm pulling it up. Obsidian for TTRPGs, that's right. Another episode of it. And in this episode, we pretty much concluded a lot of the Obsidian Markdown. Now, just because that's Markdown that Obsidian knows doesn't necessarily mean it's the same that other Markdown readers do. But I believe it actually is. But let's continue on. So in the beginning, we actually left some notes of things up here. We have our Frontmatter, or metadata, YAML, and key values, and that's what we're actually going to talk about. Also, we're going to do this part right here, accessing Frontmatter using dataview. So having said that, we're going to download a plugin. Technically, we're actually going to download two plugins, because all this stuff that we did here, there's actually, if you like mouse clicking, if you're a fast typer, this is probably really easy for you to do. But if you're more like me and sometimes like little menus like Microsoft Word or something, we're actually going to get a little plugin that puts a bar up top that gives you kind of all these different things. So let's go and do that real quick. Let's make sure all our, I don't know, actually we have a few plugins already, don't we? I don't remember installing all these though. No, these are core plugins. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do some of our first community plugins. So one of the first ones is right here called dataview. This is a really handy one, and I think I mentioned before, this allows you to kind of make database queries against all of your Obsidian Vault. So this is definitely going to be a big one for us. See, it says advanced tables is installed, but I didn't see that listed. I mean, well, maybe it was. Let me check. No. Is this window not big enough? Oh, no. Oh, we didn't. I bet we didn't enable it. That's what it is. Yes, so it does say installed, but we also want to click enabled. Now we actually have two places we can enable them. One is here, and the other is when we're looking at our plugins right here. We can see advanced tables is here. We can actually just click that, and that also enables it and puts it down there. I was drawing a blank for a second. And then this other one that I wanted to show you is called, let me go find it real quick. No. There it is. It's called editing toolbar. So EDIT. And we should see it with that. Or, oh, there it is right there. So this editing toolbar by Kuman. And as you can see, what this is going to do is just kind of give us one of these bars up at the top where we can actually highlight what we want and kind of, do it WYSIWYG style. So we're going to go ahead and install that and enable that. I feel like we talked about the different plugins we're going to do, or was that in something else, or was that a failed version of this where I ended up scrapping it? I don't remember. Another one that's really handy, let me just look on my list real quick and see what other ones. Dataview. Let me go check my other notes real quick. I don't know where this notepad, oh, there it came up. Okay. I think this is all we need right now is the editing toolbar. Oh, I remember we did the advanced tables, but I never enabled it because I'm a dummy when we were trying to get that table to work, and I was wondering if that would fix it. But of course you have to enable it. So maybe we found out it was because we didn't have a blank line above the table. All right, so now that we have those things, let's go ahead and close this out. And you'll see now we actually have this nice toolbar that will do the coding for us, like for our H's, our H2 and so forth. You know, I don't know what I just clicked that on. Oh, it was on the top up here. So if we wanted, you know, this to be a heading, then we could do that. So it has default to H2 and H3. If you want H1, 4, 5, and 6, they're under this one. This will undo any of the formatting that is in the line. So like if we are, you know, wanting to get rid of this heading right here, we could highlight it, click erase the formatting, and it would get rid of it, or even these and stuff. We have our bold, italics, strike through. This does do underline, which I did I not ever show you can do that? Oh yeah, I did, with the underline, so it'll just do it in code for you. That might be one of the, oh, I was gonna say, I don't know why I did EXEA. That's because, so if I wanted to underline paragraph, it will just be a one click and it'll automatically do it for you. We can click that again and say remove the formatting. We have highlighting, which is also what we did. We know we can highlight like this, but we can also highlight using this guy. And the nice thing about this is it will actually allow you to set up your highlight colors over here. So if we wanted, you know, it to be blue, then we could actually say change that blue, and now you'll see it'll give it a background. Actually, that wasn't the highlight. Well, I guess that's the highlight we were doing. So you can see it highlighted it in blue for us. So it's really handy. Has our little formatting for left justify, center justify, which are basically those right there. Let's go ahead and get rid of this one because I don't want that just to be there. You'll notice that basically it's HTML and that this is the RGB value. So the R value is B1. This is hexadecimal. And then FF. So FF in hexadecimal is 255. B1, you can go figure it out in the calculator or something. You have your bullets and all that fun stuff. So it's really nice to just have that available for you. I just want to, you know, let you know that that is there. Let's go ahead and clear the formatting of that. So it's really handy. So now that we've done that, we have that guy up there, we're going to start with Markdown. Now, in Obsidian, with this newest release, which is actually out right now, they've actually made a big change to the Frontmatter. And the way we do it, if we want Frontmatter, is we just put, where's my, I'm going to go ahead and do it right. Oh, I'm not in edit mode, that's why. So if I want to add Frontmatter, what I do is do 3 dashes, 3 of them, and you'll see it automatically adds another 3. Now, the thing about Frontmatter, it's just a very simple, almost XML. It's YAML, so it is a markup language, kind of like HTML. But it has simple, if you know anything about programming, basically it has a key and a value. So whatever you want a key to be, you would set that and then the value. I'm going to go make sure that I cover this properly by looking at my notes. So some things that you might want, for example, let's say we want the title of this, which is right above it. So we could do title, E, do colon, and then we can actually take Markdown cheat sheet from there and just paste it in there. And we have our first little bit of YAML. Each line is going to be its own little key, but you can always have multiple values. Now you can actually do strings in 3 different ways. One is like this is title, and that is just a string of characters. Sometimes it's easier to remember it's a string of characters by putting quotes in front and behind, and that way if you have others, you know this is one string. If you put a comma, then you can add more and more and stuff like that, or kind of a list. Excuse me. Some other things that are really handy maybe to stick in your YAML is you could put like the note type. So if we do note and type type, like that, and then colon, and we could call this a cheat sheet. Something like, oh, I need to learn to, my fingers get excited. And then, so just to remember, it's always a key, colon, whatever the value. So once again, this is also legit. Now you can always tell if it's legit YAML by if you click on the little book and it goes back. Now, right now, we're seeing all the YAML. Now, sometimes you don't want to see this. I usually don't like to see this. And we can go into our settings under editor, and down here it says properties in document. This is when you see the YAML. So the default right there is visible. We can just say whether it's hidden completely or source. I believe if it's hidden, you don't even see it when it's in. Yeah, you still see it in edit mode. I'm not sure what hidden is compared to source. But you'll see here now we don't see the Frontmatter. Here we do. Frontmatter, you can actually end up having quite a bit of stuff in there. So I like to have it hidden so that it's not, you know, making me have to scroll down my page just to get to the content that I actually want to read, or, you know, for a PC or something like that, their information. So there's that. Let's go ahead and do different types of YAML. I mean, obviously here we're just setting up basic keys and values. However, there are types that YAML does that you can set the key to. So as you can see, these are all strings. That's a string, that's basically a string, and that's a string. If you know anything about programming, you'll definitely know the difference between strings, integers, numbers, floats, booleans, and stuff like that. If not, stick with me and we'll try and explain those also as we go. So let's go ahead and start. We're just gonna use our key for the type, and then we'll have an example in the under the value. So for example, if we want a string, string, like so, a string is obviously string, and like I said, it can be, I don't know if this works in this. Oh, it does. Oh, sweet. So it can be in double quotes, single quotes, or even no quotes. So right there is a string. We have integer, so we'll just say int I'm gonna draw a blank, GER, I think, which is numbers, whole numbers, 1, 2, 3. We have floats, which are basically our decimal numbers. So we do float, float, and we can do that, and this would be like 1.23, right? We have booleans, which is either true or false. So BOOL, and we could say, we'll just make this one true, right? So these are your basic types. You have string, integer, float, boolean. There are special other types of things we can do that are kind of based off of what we were just doing with all our other markdown language. We also have, for example, we can do a list, like an unordered list. So if we're just going to call this key. So did I call this key on all those? Yeah, I'm going to call this key 2. I don't know why. I think I deleted in my notes originally key 1 because it was a little confusing. So to create a list that's associated, so some people might call this an array, or in Python it's actually called a list. And the ways you can do it are different. You can actually stick it in kind of like if you were doing an array. We could say, you know, we have our character's name Oomis, OOMIS. However, you know, don't necessarily have to put it in quotes, but it might make it a little easier to know what you were doing. And then Oomis is my character. He is a Ghostwise halfling. So we could go GHOST. Did I actually do? Oh, I did it like this. So I said Ghostwise. Now that I'm looking at it, I probably want to do that the other way. I want to say halfling, HALFLING, like that. and then have the type of halfling. So basically you can create an array like that. The other way you can create a list is kind of like we were in our thing. We can tab in, do a dash and a space, and then we could do halfling here as a second one. And then let's say we wanted to associate the Ghostwise as a halfling, so we could make a list inside the list or a nested list, and we could say GHOST WISE, and let's throw this in single quotes. I haven't completely made sure all this stuff works again. So here, if we do a shift tab, we can back out, and he is a druid. This one I'm going to do just without any quotes at all, like so. So that is our key. If we hit enter a second time, it'll move it in. Third, it will actually move it all the way back. So if we go, we want to see if this is valid, we can click on it, and you can see we're not getting an error, so we know that this is valid. Now let's say if we took this maybe and got rid of it, maybe we'll get an error. I'm so good I just don't even know how to get an error. That's a total lie. I'm sure we'll get an error at some point. So anyway, you can have kind of a list key. There are some special values that that Obsidian actually looks for and understands specifically in your Frontmatter or your properties, whatever you want to call them. Actually, they're actually now properties, Frontmatter properties, metadata, YAML. I don't have Frontmatter is the first one. So anyway, we have things that it will specifically know how to handle, such as date. So we say date and colon, and then if we put it in a year, month, day format, so we say actually let's do my birthday, 1972, yes I'm old, 07-15. So it will know how to handle that. We also have time, which is basically just like date. So we could actually copy this, put it down here, but then it's going to have a special character in here, T for time, and then we're going to put the actual time value. Of course, it'll be hours and minutes. So I don't know, let's say I was born at 7 a.m., 7:00 on that day. I think it was somewhere around there. So you can do time like that, and it will actually register it. If we go turn back on properties, I'm not sure what source means. Let's go look at that real quick, see what that does. So if I go like that, I'm still not sure what a source means. But let's go ahead and actually set it to visible for this. And if we go back in, now you'll see that I didn't do it right or something. Do I have to click save or anything? It says visible. Properties and document. Choose how properties. I said visible. Markdown cheat sheet. There's that. It is not liking me. We could also do this. I know that if I think it's control, is it control P? Yes. If we do PROPER, properties, we can say properties view, we can say show all properties or show the file properties. This will actually open it up in the side window. So we do that, no properties found. I broke it. See? I told you I could do it. Let's figure out how I broke it. I am absolutely not sure because we have our 3 there, 3 there. Everything looks fine. Alright, I might pause the video here and see if I can figure out what is so different. So I will be back. I will see you in I guess it'll be a second for you guys. It might be a lot longer for me. So see you then. Actually, there was one last thing I wanted to try. Sometimes, remember I said this, and I want to try this with you guys on. I just got done pausing it. I haven't done anything. But if we go to the open command palette, sometimes doing a reload, reload, will fix when you're having weird issues. Okay, that didn't fix it for us, right? Because we still have that. Let me just make sure there's not something up here. It was showing it earlier. That's what I don't get. All right, now I'll really see you in a minute or so. Okay, I'm back and I figured out what it was, and boy, is it a really dumb mistake I made. So because right here we have a list and then we're going in a list, remember how here we need the colon to tell it that this is a property of this? Technically, this is becoming a key. So now we need to stick a colon right there, and look at that. All of a sudden now everything is registered as properties. And if we go out here, we can also see it out here. Now, as I said, this is just because we did that little command. If we look up here, I think it's right. Is it this one? Outline. Actually, I don't know that it shows up here. Let's make it bigger. There it is right there. Yes, properties. So now we have that availability right here. You know, normally we had it on tags, but we can always do that. That way we don't have to have it in here, which is the way I actually like it. And maybe that's what it's talking about with the hidden, might hide it in both. Let's try that. So if we say hidden and hit close, so now it's hidden in there, but I'm not sure what the difference between hidden and source is. But here we can actually see it's developing it, and you'll actually see that it's able to know that if we click on these, you can see that this is a little 1-0 looking thing. And if we go to property type, you'll see that it registers it a number. It looks at numbers as both integers and decimals or floats. If we click on this one here, you can see this one is just text or a string. Down here we have this one, and it is listing it as unknown. So we can tell it specifically that it's a list, and that will just help it a little bit. Did that do anything? That didn't do anything. But as you can see, it's our little list right there. And I'll show you that in just a second. Then you can see it's already rendering our date as a date and the time as a time. All these ones up here are just considered text. So that just kind of gives you an idea. Yes, it knows how to handle these. Now there's two others that I wanted to talk about real quick. And I'm sorry about this going long, but we only have two others to actually talk about. So the other thing we have is aliases. Now, if you remember when we're down here, way down here, we were talking about aliases. Did we actually call them aliases? External, internal, note, heading, renaming, link alias. So remember how here we call that community plugins list instead of plugins. Oh, that's our plugins list. We gave it the alias, so it didn't just say plugins, it actually could say community plugins, right? So you can actually set up those aliases, and this is one of the things I find really handy to do. Like, let's say I have a NPC in one of the campaigns I'm doing. There's an NPC named Lady Diamond. You know, maybe she has a full name, you know, like Florencia Diamond. I don't know. But what you can do is come in here and use the aliases. So we do ALIASES and colon. And it will know this, as you can see, as a special type called aliases. Well, technically, I don't know that that's what that's doing right there. It's waiting for a value right now. But let's say, for example, I wanted aliases to this so that, you know, I could, in text, so it reads fine, I might want to just call it Markdown or MD or something like that. Or in the case with this Lady Diamond, let's say her name was Florencia, or we have an NPC that has a first name, last name, or something like that. And sometimes in the text, we want it to just be their last name. We might only want it to be their first name, yet sometimes we want it to show in the text as their full name. We can actually set those up here. So if we do that, we're going to do this in the list format. So we're just going to hit enter and tab and one little dash. And we're going to call this, I don't know, let's just call it markdown, right? M-A-R, markdown. We also have MD maybe for markdown. We could also call it cheat. So we'll just use those for the aliases. And then the other one is tags. So if I hit back all the way to there, you'll see we have tag 1 and 2 here. We can actually also have tags, and you'll see when we create tags over here under ZZ, we have tag 1 and 2. If we create one called tags, T-A-G-Z, or, well, I'm reading it, T-A-G-S, and if I want it to be in the ZZ folder or whatever, like those ones, I just simply do it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and, if I do that, did it space in? Doesn't look like it necessarily did. If I hit tab and minus like that, and we'll just do maybe tag 3 and 4. So we're going to do ZZ and slash TAG3 like that. And you'll see it automatically popped up in here. And ZZ slash tag. You have to spell it right. Well, technically you don't. Tag 4. And you'll see that now that's in there as well. In the next episode, we're going to actually use dataview to access this information that's up here. I was technically going to do it in this episode, but wow, we're running long. But anyway, so that's Frontmatter or properties or metadata or YAML. Technically what it is, it's a YAML format, but these are the names it goes by in Obsidian and other apps as well. Might be called Frontmatter metadata or something like that. Hopefully you understood what we're talking about. Here you can actually see, here's our aliases. It's kind of created a markdown cheat sheet, or cheat, tags 3, tags 4. So what I was saying, let's just say, well, no, we'll do that later, I think I actually have an example that I do later. So yeah, we'll call that good. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. And don't forget to tell other people about my channel. If they like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel. Everyone wins. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.